I tried to call in a few nights ago when the hot topic was Ferguson issue, and it seems to keep coming up in the media and on the radio.
That's a big deal.
And on it is. I agree. The thing that kind of triggered my irritation, I should say, is a couple things that I heard on Fox News that there was a couple of protesters going to support the officer and that they were taken away in cars. What gives the people in Ferguson that are irate over the incident more of a right to protest than the people to support the police?
Who was taking away the people in cars?
I haven't seen the news story that you're talking about.
Just to clarify.
I think the way that it sounded to me was that the police department put these people in cars and escorted them away from Florissant Street, or I believe that's the name of the street where the protests are taking place. And I think this happened on two different occasions.
So just to clarify I want to make sure I understand what you're saying. You're saying in Ferguson, Missouri, site of many protests right now, you're saying some people wanted to protest in favor of the police officer.
Counter-protesters, essentially.
Correct.
And they were taken away from a protest scene by the police and deposited
Correct.
somewhere else?
Correct.
Were they charged with anything, or did the cops
Not
just
that
come
I know of. I think that they did it and this is a broad spectrum, but I think that they did it for their safety.
Okay.
I would say that
That
their safety was likely in danger. I just don't believe that you have an excuse to take people someplace against their will for their safety.
Well, it sounds to me like they got
That's
in.
my thing, yeah.
It
Gotta
sounds.
protect the people that are in your favor.
Well, hold on. It sounds to
Yeah.
me like the people weren't taken against their will. It sounds like they got in willingly.
True, and that may be true. I just don't understand why would we not have the position to uphold their right to protest as well as the
I agree with you. No, I absolutely agree.
Yeah,
I think
they
that
should have just as much right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think if they want to go out there and wave signs in favor of the police, they should absolutely be free to do that. And then, of course, there will be likely conversations that will be had, videos will be recorded. And I imagine that, they probably weren't in as much danger as the police thought they might be. But either way, if they really wanted to stay there, they could have made a stand and said, "No, officer, thanks for offering us the ride out, but we really want to stand by this officer, so we're going to keep standing here no matter what happens." And if they, if the officer continued to push the issue, they could pull out the video camera and record the officer that they support so much, oppressing their rights to support the officer that they support, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Thanks for the call,
I
Matt.
got to get where you're going with that.
I appreciate hearing from you tonight, man. Thanks for calling in. Toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Because when you do what the police want you to do, then you don't usually get into any real issue. I mean, unless they want to arrest you is the first thing they want. But if they want you to leave an area and you leave when they first ask you to leave, you're probably going to be all right. They're probably not going to put you in handcuffs in that incident.
Likely.
So the people who are out there protesting for the police are, of course, likely to do anything they're told by the police. So they'll not come across a cop who is going to manhandle them or treat them poorly because they're going to be doing what they were told.
But that doesn't mean that it's voluntary. Now, here's the thing, is that those protesters, when people do what the cops tell them to do, that doesn't mean that they're acting voluntarily. Many of those people do it because they are actually under duress, and they know that if they don't do what the cop says, then there will be consequences.
But does it feel like duress?
That's not voluntary.
Wait a minute, but does it feel like duress? It may be duress, but does it feel like duress if you're a cop supporter and the cops come around and tell you what to do?
I find that very odd. I'd like to know more about this situation because if they're...
Well, how would it feel? Think about it for a moment. I mean, if you're
not change my sign.
Okay, but right now
you're
not.
I hope it has a backside.
You're not Lauren anymore. You are somebody who totally worships the police state. You are a warmonger. You love the military.
That's going to be really hard to imagine.
When you see the police, maybe you're one of those girls who really gets turned on by a uniform. One of those girls.
Oh la la.
Yeah, they're out there, right? Like they're basically cop groupies.
Oh my.
So here you are. You've got your pro cop sign, and
I've heard they exist.
And one of your heroes pulls up and says,
"I'm my God.
Ma'am, I'm going to have to ask you to get in my car so I can take you over to safety. This is a very dangerous place, ma'am. Now, come on.
Of course. I'll go anywhere you ask.
There you go. You're not under
Just
duress,
take
are you?
me.
You've completely bought into their system, and you believe this is a hero who's come to your rescue. You wouldn't feel under duress in any way, shape, or
Like
form.
Hercules.
Would you? Would you feel duressed? No, you wouldn't.
I mean, no, I wouldn't.
You would, as
I
you.
agree with you. No, I
Right.
wouldn't.
You would as Lauren, the
I would
objectivist
as
girl,
Lauren.
because you would want to stay right where you are, likely, and your own individual volition is important to you.
Can I be anti-cop again now,
Yes,
Ian, please?
absolutely. We'll come back to more here in moments.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.